Imagine you have a giant secret. It is a secret so big and so heavy that it feels like you're carrying a mountain on your back every single day. Now, imagine you are a prince and the whole world is watching you. Everyone thinks your life is like a perfect storybook. They think you're happy in your big house with your beautiful family, but inside you are shaking. You cannot sleep at night. You walk up and down the long, dark hallways of your home while everyone else is dreaming. You look at your phone and read mean stories about yourself, waiting for the moment everything falls apart. This is what is happening to Prince Harry right now. For a long time, people said he was a man who showed his feelings easily. They said he wore his heart on his sleeve for everyone to see. But now, that heart looks like it has been broken into a million tiny pieces. He isn't just a little bit sad anymore. He is falling apart. He is worried that the life he built is about to disappear. And one night something changed. The secret he tried so hard to hide finally started to come out, and it began with a truth that he could no longer keep inside his chest. People used to say that Prince Harry was very honest about how he felt. If he was happy, you knew it. If he was sad, you could see it in his eyes. But lately, things have changed in a scary way. His heart does not just look sad. It looks like it has been cracked wide open for the whole world to see. People who are very close to him say he is not just being emotional or moody anymore. They say he is completely unraveling, like a ball of yarn that has come undone. He is hardly sleeping at all. He spends his nights walking back and forth in his house, his feet hitting the floor over and over again because his mind will not turn off. He spends hours looking at his phone, scrolling through every single rumor and mean comment online. He looks like a man who is standing still, waiting for a giant storm to hit him and knock him down. Then one night, everything changed. It was the night when he finally couldn't take it anymore. The person who helps with legal work for Harry and Meghan's team says that Harry finally let the giant truth spill out. It was a truth that had been eating him alive like a hungry monster. He said that Meghan never actually carried their children in her own body. He said the story the world was told was just a fairy tale. It was Meghan's version of the story. Harry said he went along with it because he truly thought it would keep his family safe and protected. But instead of protecting them, that big secret became the heaviest weight of his entire life. It was a secret so tight and suffocating that it is now destroying him from the inside out. People who work inside the big royal palace say that Harry is not the same man he used to be. He is like a shadow of himself. His eyes look hollow and tired, and he looks haunted by things no one else can see. He feels trapped between feeling very guilty and feeling very afraid. This is when the perfect picture began to break. Once a secret like that starts to leak out, it is like water coming through a crack in a dam. You cannot stop it. Right in the middle of this giant mess stands one woman. She is the person they all tried to make the world forget about. People call her DL. That is not her real name, of course. Her real name is being kept a secret so that she stays safe and follows the law. But DL is not staying quiet anymore. She's not whispering in the dark. She says she was not just a helper. She says she is the biological mother of both Archie and Lilibet. She claims she has very important papers to prove it. She says she has DNA tests, hospital files, and emails. She says she has proof of everything that Meghan and Harry tried to hide deep underground. For many years, DL lived in total silence. She was bound by very strict rules called NDAs. These are papers you sign that say you are never allowed to talk. She was told to never speak a word, never show her face to anyone, and never let the public know she even existed. She was promised that she would be protected and that she would be paid a lot of money for her help. But she says that did not happen. She claims she did not get the money she was promised. No one called to check on her to see if she was okay. No one said thank you or recognized what she did. She says it felt like she was erased, like a pencil drawing that someone rubbed away. But she is not staying erased anymore. Not this time. To understand how she ended up in the middle of this huge royal scandal, we have to go back in time to the end of the year 2018. Back then, DL says she was asked for help through a middleman. This person worked for a very fancy clinic that helps people have babies. This clinic was famous for keeping secrets for very rich and famous people who did not want anyone to know their business. The message she got was very short. It said a very famous couple needed her help. The deal seemed very simple at first. Everything would be private, she would get paid well, and she would never have a connection to the children ever again. She signed the papers. She entered the system. Every single step was done in total silence. Even the people working at the clinic knew almost nothing. They were only told that keeping the secret was the most important thing. DL followed every rule they gave her, but when the babies were finally born, she says she was pushed right out of the story she helped create. That is when things started to get very dark. What DL says happened next is enough to change everything we know about royal history. When Archie was born in May of 2019, the whole world saw happy news stories. We saw photos of a smiling couple who said they wanted privacy instead of a big party. But DL promised that the real truth was hidden from everyone. She says that Archie was already 2 weeks old when Harry and Meghan first showed him to the cameras. 2 whole weeks. If that is true, it means the big news that Meghan was in labor and giving birth was just a show for the cameras. DL claims she was the one who gave birth to him quietly in a place called Colorado. That is very far away from the royal photographers and the busy news people in England. There was no big rush to the hospital and no flashing lights. It was just a quiet, private birth. After that, a fake story was told to the world at just the right time. Meanwhile, across the big ocean, the statements from the palace were very confusing. They said Meghan was in labor, and then just a few minutes later, they said the baby was already born. It did not make any sense at the time, but no one asked too many questions. Everyone just thought the couple wanted to be left alone. But DL says it was not about being left alone. She says it was a performance. It was like a play where everything was planned perfectly to make Meghan look like she had just given birth, even though she hadn't. Even back then, some people noticed things were a little strange. They noticed how Meghan looked so healthy and glowing. She was standing tall in high heels only 2 days after the baby was supposed to be born. She did not look tired at all. She did not look like she was in any pain. Most mothers who just had a baby find it very hard to move around and feel very, very tired. At that time, the news said she was just very strong and graceful. But if the story DL is telling is true, that glow was not from being healthy. It was just makeup used to hide a big secret. If what DL is saying is true, the trick was not just about how things looked. It went much deeper than that. It went into the legal papers. She says her name was taken off every single medical file. It was taken off the hospital forms and the birth certificates. She says people were given strict orders to make sure no one could ever find a trace of her. No signature and no record of her being there. That is what she says she was told would happen. And when you look back now, some of the official papers do look a bit weird. A few months after Archie was born, Meghan's name was suddenly taken off his birth certificate. At the time, her team said it was just a small mistake that needed to be fixed. But now that DL is telling her story, it looks like they were trying to hide details that did not match the truth. DL says that the clinic and the people who paid her tried to make her invisible. She wasn't just cut off from the family. She was deleted from the legal records like she never existed. But she did not delete her own proof. She was smart. She kept everything. She kept the secret papers she signed. She kept the records of the money being moved. She kept every single email and even the receipts from the clinic. She kept them because she thought the people she was helping would be fair to her. She trusted them, but when they stopped talking to her and left her all alone, she decided she would not be invisible anymore. With that one choice, the whole story about the royal births started to fall apart. This is not just a small fight between people anymore. It is a giant legal nightmare for the whole country. In the United Kingdom, there are very strict rules about who can be a prince or a princess. If Meghan did not carry the children herself, and if they did not tell the truth about using a surrogate, everything changes. Their royal titles and their place in line to be king or queen could be taken away. Royal rules are not just for fun. They are serious laws. Every birth and every name must be proven to be real. A secret mother breaks that chain completely. Inside the big palace where the king lives, people say there is a lot of panic. It is a quiet panic, but it is very real. There are 4 big reasons why they are scared. First, the children's titles could be taken away. If Meghan is not the mother on the official records, the law says they might not be allowed to be called prince or princess. Second, if any papers were changed or faked, that is a big crime called fraud. Third, the leaders in the government might have to get involved and ask why no one checked to make sure the births were real. And fourth, the records in America could be a mess, too. If the birth papers for Lilibet in the United States have the wrong information about her mother, that is a huge legal problem. At this point, it is not just about whether Meghan had the babies. It is about whether the whole royal family was lied to. It is about whether the public was tricked. Lawyers are staying up all night long looking at every single paper from the births. If DL really has the emails and hospital logs she says she has, it won't just be embarrassing. It will change history books forever. As these rumors get louder and louder, Meghan Markle has become very quiet. Usually she likes to give speeches and take beautiful photos, but now there is only a strange silence. There are no surprise visits and no statements from her. People who know her say she is hiding on purpose. She is not being quiet because she is calm. She's being quiet because she is trying to figure out what to do. People in Hollywood who used to want to work with her are now stepping back. They are afraid to be near her because they don't want to be part of a giant royal explosion. Meghan has always wanted to control her own story, but now she seems stuck. Her silence sounds like she is very afraid. People who work in the media say she is quiet because she has to be. If DL shows the world her evidence, Meghan's next move will decide if people ever trust her again. Meanwhile, Harry looks like he is completely broken. His friends say they don't even recognize him anymore. He is nervous and gets angry easily. He spends a lot of time all by himself, just staring at nothing. They say he feels so guilty that it is tearing him apart. He doesn't feel guilty just because they used a surrogate. He feels guilty because he lied about it. He helped build a story that he knew was not true. One friend said they heard him talking to himself, saying he only wanted to protect his family and didn't think it would go this far. Those words are very sad because Harry really did think he was doing the right thing, but the fake story he built is falling down like a house of cards. This time, he is not strong enough to hold it up. While Harry's world is getting smaller and darker, DL is doing the opposite. She's stepping out of the shadows and getting ready to show the world everything. Her team says she's ready to talk. She wants to show the truth that was buried under secret contracts and royal rules. What she is not just gossip or mean talk. She says it is real evidence. She has the contracts with her signature on them. She has records of money coming from the royal accounts. She has emails between her and Harry's lawyers. She even has a hospital bill with her name on it for a birth where Meghan's name should have been. She even says she has photos from inside the hospital rooms and logs that show she was traveling on the exact days the children were born. If even half of this is real, it will start a giant legal fire in both England and America. There are rumors that big TV networks want to give DL a huge interview. They want her to sit down and tell everything without anyone stopping her. An interview like that would be like a bomb going off. No team of helpers could fix the damage. For Meghan and Harry, this is like a clock ticking down to zero. The moment DL walks in front of a camera, everything they have done, the Netflix shows, the books, the speeches, could turn to dust. When you have real proof, the pretty stories and the feelings don't work anymore. Inside the palace, everyone is silent. They are not saying yes and they are not saying no. They are just having secret meetings in the middle of the night. They are terrified of what happens if DL's papers are real. If she is telling the truth, then history is not just being rewritten, it is being flipped upside down. Far away in California, their big house is very quiet too. The people who work there say the air feels heavy and tense. Meghan hardly ever leaves her room. Harry walks through the house because he cannot sleep. He whispers to himself like a man who is thinking about every choice he ever made. This is not the brave prince we used to see. This is a man who is scared that the story he made up to save his family is the very thing that will destroy it. His friends say the guilt is too much for him to carry. He helped build a dream that wasn't real, and now he is watching it break apart piece by piece. The whole world is waiting to see what happens next. DL is standing strong, looking forward. She knows that once she tells her story, there is no turning back. She will be the woman who broke the royal silence. She will be the one who made the royals face the truth they tried to hide. This is not just about a celebrity scandal anymore. It is about who is real and what is true. For a long time, the story of Harry and Meghan was told like a modern fairy tale about love and freedom. But now that story looks like a trick. When you take away the cameras and the smiles, you just have three people, Harry, Meghan, and DL, all tied together by a secret that is finally coming out into the light. The world is holding its breath. The question is not if the truth will come out, but when. Because once the light hits the truth, even the biggest secrets start to shake. Tonight, the palace is whispering, a prince is pacing, and somewhere else, a woman is getting ready to tell the world everything. When she does, everything will change.